And at number 10, Damon Albarn. Musician Damon Albarn got together to collaborate on some tracks on Adele's 2015 album, 25, but unfortunately it did not go as planned, and the pair ended on pretty bad terms. He even said in the interview that he will never collaborate with Adele again. In an interview with The Sun at that time, Albarn said, quote, "Adele asked me to work with her and I took the time out for her. And I'm not a producer, so I don't know what is happening really. Will she use any of this stuff? I don't think so. Let's wait and see." The thing is, she's very insecure and she doesn't need to be. She's still so young. Albarn also described her new music as middle of the road. Following his interview, Adele clapped back, saying, quote, "It ended up being one of those don't meet your idol moments. The saddest thing was that I was such a big Blur fan growing up, but it was sad and I regret hanging out with him." Albarn later clarified in a different interview that his words were taken out of context and they were misinterpreted to sound mean. But that kind of seems like BS to me, and it's clear the pair did not like each other. And at number 9, Jamie Oliver. Celebrity chef Jamie Oliver got in a strange feud with Adele after he made some comments about breastfeeding. Oliver spoke about the topic during a radio interview where he said, quote, "The UK has the worst breastfeeding in the world," and saying, quote, "It's easy, it's more convenient, it's more nutritious, it's better, it's free." But this did not sit well with Adele, and during a concert Adele responded saying, quote, "The pressure on us is effing ridiculous, and all those people who put pressure on us can go F yourselves, right? Because it's hard. Some of us can't do it." Following the comments, fans put 2 and 2 together, and Oliver got backlash for mansplaining a woman's issue. And at number 8, Matt Doran. Adele got into a feud with reporter Matt Doran after it was reported that she stormed out of their press interview for her new album once he admitted that he didn't listen to the album in full. Australia's Daily Telegraph revealed that Channel 7's Matt Doran came to London specifically for this 20 to 30 minute interview in an over $600,000 deal. Reportedly halfway through the interview, Adele noticed that he was struggling to express an opinion of his own, then she flat out asked if he had listened to the album. And when he said no, she walked off and ended the interview early. Sony later refused to allow footage of the interview to be used, and Doran was suspended for 2 weeks. This embarrassing blunder then went viral, with Adele fans roasting Doran online for days. However, Doran later exposed that the whole story was a lie and he was never kicked out of the interview. Rather, the conversation actually went overtime. Doran also stood by the contents of the interview and said he is, quote, "devastated that her fans are being denied this interview." And at number 7, Taylor Swift. This is another feud that we're not sure is real or not, but it seems there's been some shade thrown between these two singers for years. After Adele beat out Taylor for a Golden Globe in 2013, Adele made a bit of a shady dig when Adele jokingly said that she is a squad, but they aren't models, clearly taking a dig at Taylor's model squad. Then this year it was reported that Taylor Swift was furious that Adele might be stepping into pop music with her new album. A source said, quote, "Taylor Swift is not happy that Adele is apparently taking a new direction for her next album, because it means that she could be stealing her pop princess crown." Apparently, Swift is giving no help to Adele with this potential crossover either. The source added, quote, "Should this rivalry go public, it's going to get messy. It's probably best for Taylor to keep her copycat concerns to herself." And then number 6, Ernest Owens. Adele got major backlash after she posted a photo in Bantu knots to celebrate the UK's Notting Hill Carnival, and journalist Ernest Owens was one of the people who did not approve. In the UK, they celebrate something called the Notting Hill Carnival, where people will share their pride about being a British person with Caribbean descent. Adele shocked the world when she showed up wearing a Jamaican flag, print bikini, and Bantu knots in her hair, a style worn traditionally by Black women in the region. Her shocking 100-pound weight loss was easily overshadowed by the backlash that she received, with people calling the move cultural appropriation. After waves of backlash, she told British Vogue, quote, "I didn't read the effing room." And in hindsight, she completely understands why the backlash occurred. Adele also decided to not take down the photo, a move which she says was to let people know she was not trying to brush it under the rug. Owens tweeted at the time, quote, "If 2020 couldn't get any more bizarre, Adele is giving us Bantu knots and cultural appropriation that nobody asked for. This officially marks all of the top white women in pop as problematic. Hate to see it." Halfway number 5, Beyonce. Since Adele took home Album of the Year at the 2017 Grammys, fans are convinced that Beyonce and Adele do not like each other, mainly because they are very competitive. After Adele won in 2017 instead of Beyonce, fans were really fed up and claimed that Adele was somewhat patronizing in her acceptance speech. On that night, Adele won all 5 of the awards she was nominated for, while Beyonce only won 2 of 9 of her nominations. During her speech, Adele made sure to shout out Beyonce and say that she believed Beyonce deserved the award more. Although some fans found the moment completely genuine and heartfelt, many did not. Some fans claim that if Adele really felt that way, she should have invited Beyoncé on stage to say her acceptance speech with her. Some Beyoncé fans even claim that Adele could have just denied the award and forced the Grammys to give it to Beyoncé. One fan tweeted after the show, quote, "Even Adele admitted that Beyoncé should have won Album of the Year." Many Beyoncé fans think that she did not appreciate being put on blast, and the whole thing made Adele look like a white woman's savior. And at number 4, Peppa Pig. Easily the strangest beef Adele has been in was with Peppa Pig. In an Instagram Live where Adele was promoting her upcoming album 30, a fan asked if she would ever collaborate with Peppa, and Adele savagely said no. Then later on during an interview with Capital FM, Adele was confronted by Peppa, who called her out for the comments. The interviewers asked Adele about her comments, then showed a clip of a cartoon Peppa saying, quote, "Hello Adele, that made me really sad when you said you wouldn't collaborate with me. Why not? Don't you like me?" Adele was obviously shocked and responded, quote, "But Peppa, I regret it. I spent 3 years watching you. I really regret any time you want to go jumping in muddy puddles and sing Muddy Muddles. I'm with you, babes. I felt terrible the second I said it." So thankfully that beef was cleared up. And at number 3, Bruno Mars. Singer and producer Bruno Mars had some eyebrow-raising things to say about Adele after they collaborated on her song All I Ask. He of course sang her praises for her amazing talent, but he also made sure to include that she can be a bit of a diva. He said in the interview, quote, "She's a superstar. She walks into the studio, she's got all this attitude, she's a diva, and she's like, I don't want to do this, I don't like that." Then as soon as we hit a couple chords that she liked, we started rolling, and that's where we got that song from. But of course he praised how talented that she is, saying that there is a moment that she was in the booth singing when the water started to vibrate. And of course he would love to work with her again. He said he's just waiting for her to call on him again. It's unclear if he meant that she was a diva in an endearing way, or if he meant to throw some shade her way. And at number 2, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is known for his controversial opinions on news and pop culture, and his stances on Adele have gotten him in hot water. In November, Piers published a scathing rant against Adele and her decision to include her son on her latest album 30, claiming that she shared her son's heartache and pain to promote the last album. Morgan claimed it was hypocritical because Adele had fought for her son's privacy in the past. In his article, Morgan wrote, quote, "Sorry Adele, you're a great singer, but sharing your young son's heartache and pain with the entire world to flog your album is shameful and the rankest hypocrisy." Morgan claimed that Adele asked for privacy when it comes to her separation and other personal matters, but then she turns around and exposes those intimate details when it serves her to promote and sell albums. In his article, Morgan wrote, quote, "All this hypocrisy is par for the course with today's oversharing celebrities who love to reveal every prudent detail of their lives for commercial gain while simultaneously demanding privacy," adding, quote, "This is the same Adele who went to court to protect her son's privacy when he was just 1, winning him a substantial 5-figure sum in damages over paparazzi photographs." And finally, number 1, Simon Konecki. I'm sure that Adele's ex-husband does not hate her, but I'm sure he's not pleased with some of the things that she shared about their marriage in the press or on her latest album. In September of 2019, Adele filed for divorce from Konecki. When speaking about the marriage, she told Vogue, quote, "I was just going through the motions and I wasn't happy. Neither of us did anything wrong, neither of us hurt each other or anything like that. It was just, I want my son to see me really in love and be loved. It's really important to me." Then when she approached her 30s, she felt she wanted more out of life than what she had at the time. The divorce was hardest for her 9-year-old son, Angelo. Adele added, quote, "He had so many simple questions for me that I can't answer because I don't know the answer." Adele also shared that she thinks her son might hate her for her decision later in life.
At number 10, Keke Palmer. So many people have opinions on the Kardashians. The way they look, the way they act, their business, everything. A lot of people don't like them for a number of reasons, but actress Keke Palmer has blatantly come out and talked about why she dislikes the Kardashians, specifically Kylie. Keke has shown sympathy in the past for Kylie because of the insecurities that Kylie has professed, but Keke isn't too fond of how Kylie went about dealing with those insecurities. A lot of the Kardashians show off their appearances all the time, and many of them have had plastic surgery, but Keke doesn't seem to like that Kylie flaunted how she changed her appearance like her sisters. The actress believes that Kylie went about dealing with her insecurities in the wrong way, and she hates the fact that she's been praised for this paid glow up. In an interview, Keke spoke out about all of this where she said, quote, "In the sense of the Kardashians, it's like, I'm going to show you so much perfect and be everything a woman should be or everything a man would like or love. Specifically in the situation of Kylie, where you've had a young girl people have seen on television since she was a kid and they literally told her she was so ugly, the ugly person in the family. She went and did apparently everything the world deemed as beautiful. The even crazier part is that everybody loves her for it." End quote. Kiki has deemed Kylie inauthentic, and that's why she dislikes her so much.
And at number 9, Kylie Minogue. Before there was Kylie Jenner, Kylie Minogue was the most famous Kylie. But in 2015, Jenner tried to trademark the name Kylie, and Minogue fought back. The Australian pop star shaded Jenner when she tried to trademark their first name. According to the US Patent and Trademark Office, in 2015 Jenner tried to register Kylie in the US for advertising services and endorsement services. But Kylie Minogue's team filed their own charges to ensure the trademark did not go through. Minogue claimed it would, quote, damage her own reputation. In the legal documents, Minogue's team classified Jenner as a, quote, secondary reality television personality known for her, quote, photographic exhibitionism and controversial posts on social media. Very savage. Then Minogue tweeted, quote, hello, my name is Kylie, #lightyears, insinuating that she was here way before Jenner. After this whole debacle, it's clear the two do not like each other.
At number 8, Madison Beer. There are a handful of people in Hollywood who have their grievances with Kylie's beauty brand. In the past, she's been accused of copying the same packaging as Jeffree Star's makeup brand, but she's also had some beef with Madison Beer because the singer accused Kylie of stealing Madison's purple palette idea from back in 2017. In October of 2017, Kylie released her purple palette from her Kylie Cosmetics brand, and soon after the collection was made public, Madison shaded Kylie on Instagram, alleging that Kylie betrayed her. Madison posted on Instagram saying, quote, when people fully steal your idea and they come out with what was supposed to be a collab, whack, end quote. Though the collab between Madison and Kylie was never confirmed, Madison appeared to have hinted at it back in March of 2017 when talking to paparazzi. I could imagine how hurt you would feel if you worked on something just for it all to fall through with you but still be sold. That would be a serious punch to the gut. When a follower called Madison out on being salty about the whole ordeal and that she didn't invent purple eyeshadow, the singer clapped back saying, quote, you sound very unintelligent. Who in their right mind would think they invented an eyeshadow color or shade? That is not at all in any way what I said or even slightly implied, end quote. Apparently Kylie and Madison were friends before all of this happened, so I wonder if they're over it now or if that ruined their friendship.
And at number 7, Paris Jackson. Kendall and Kylie got tons of backlash when they released a series of vintage t-shirts for their clothing line, and photos of legends like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Shakur, and the Doors and Ozzy Osbourne were beside their own on the shirts. Tons of celebrities called out the sisters for their tone-deaf decision, including Paris Jackson, the daughter of the late Michael Jackson. Paris took to Twitter and wrote, quote, as a huge fan of Zeppelin, The Doors, Floyd, I mean these bands literally helped shape who I am today. I can't condone this fashion. Legends like these who completely changed our world today, not just the music world, should be respected and honored, not turned into this. Pink Floyd is not Chanel, Led Zeppelin is not Michael Kors, Metallica is not Givenchy, don't get it twisted. Hashtag bands not brands and hashtag respect music. Along with getting tons of heat, the sisters were also slapped with multiple lawsuits, so they decided to stop selling the shirts shortly after their release.
At number 6, Selena Gomez. Another celebrity who seems to have had beef with Kylie is former Disney star Selena Gomez. Turns out that Selena had an on and off again friendship with the Jenner sisters, and it all stemmed from Justin Bieber. During the time that Selena and Justin were a thing, Selena started feeling a little iffy about Kylie specifically because she thought that Kylie was flirting with Justin. Selena and Kylie apparently got into a confrontation in 2014 because of it, and it all went down at Justin's house. According to sources, what happened that evening was that Kylie allegedly, quote, sent sexy pics of herself to Justin, and that's what started the fight. Selena saw the pictures on Justin's phone and she freaked out and immediately left, end quote. The source also commented on the Jenner sisters saying, quote, Kylie and Kendall live in such a fantasy world with what the show has turned their family into. At the end of the day, Selena was just there to be a part of the show and enhance their brand rather than being legit friends. Thankfully, Selena realized that she was being used and got out, end quote. Some sources also claim that Selena stopped being friends with the Jenners because of their use of substances, drinking, and partying, but the Jenners have denied those claims.
Halfway number 5, Lourdes Leon. Lourdes Leon, daughter of Madonna, dissed Kylie after Lourdes was invited to Kylie's birthday party in 2015. Apparently, she finds the Kardashian family vile and was horrified about the invite. A source revealed that Lourdes shaded Kylie over her social media activity and selfie taking. After she received the invite, a source exposed, quote, she couldn't believe Kylie thought that she'd be receptive to a party invite and has completely ignored her. As far as Lourdes is concerned, she's not going to lower herself to even responding. Adding that Lourdes is very picky about who she spends her time with, and Kylie doesn't make the cut. The source added that Lourdes' friends are, quote, much more interested in changing the world than in taking selfies. And in my opinion, you must really hate someone if the thought of them inviting you to their birthday leaves you horrified.
At number 4, Amber Rose. The Kardashians have caused a lot of tension in the past in case of their relationships. There's been so much drama with cheating, rumors, babies, and so much more, so it's not surprising to know that Kylie is hated because of relationship quarrels. Amber Rose has had some harsh things to say about Kylie in the past, especially when it came to her relationship with rapper Tyga. Tyga had left Blac Chyna, the mother of his son, for Kylie, and Amber did not approve of that at all. During a radio interview, Amber spoke out about that drama when she said, quote, "She's a baby, she needs to go to bed at 7 o'clock and relax. That's ridiculous. Tyga should be ashamed of himself. That's how I feel, for sure. He has a beautiful woman and a baby and left that all for a 16-year-old who just turned 17. End quote. Amber wasn't the only one to comment on Kylie and Tyga's relationship, but her commentary definitely had some heat.
And at number 3, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star has been coming for Kylie publicly ever since she came out with an online makeup company that was a competitor to Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Their feud is totally one-sided, but I'm sure that Kylie has seen all the shade that Jeffree has dished out. Back when Jeffree was famous for his makeup reviews, he reviewed Kylie Cosmetics on multiple occasions, and more often than not, he trashed her products. When reviewing her over $300 brush set, he called it cheap dollar store product. Jeffree and Shane Dawson also trashed Kylie's skin in their review, where they called the products drying, irritating, and overpriced. Jeffree even shaded Kylie's Forbes cover, where she was declared the world's youngest self-made billionaire. He said, quote, "I declined the feature, so they had to pick someone."
At number 2, Amanda Stenberg. The most common scandal that the Kardashians seem to get involved in is something involving cultural appropriation. Many of the Kardashians have been accused of appropriating black culture and blackfishing, and Kylie seems to be one of the worst offenders when it comes to these things. The internet has got really fired up when Kylie was seen wearing cornrows, and actress Amanda Stenberg went off on Kylie for it. The Hunger Games actress tweeted saying, quote, "When you appropriate black features and culture but fail to use your position of power to help black Americans by directing attention towards your wigs instead of police brutality or racism, hashtag white girls do it better." End quote. On top of that, Amanda also posted a video titled "Don't Cash Crop on My Cornrow," explaining that, quote, "The line between cultural appropriation and cultural exchange is always going to be blurred, but here's the thing. Appropriation occurs when a style leads to racist generalizations or stereotypes where it originated but deemed high fashion, cool, or funny when the privileged take it for themselves." End quote. Amanda already took a disliking towards Kylie after that, but that didn't seem to do much because she kept posting in cornrows after that.
And finally at number 1, Blac Chyna. There is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that Blac Chyna hates Kylie Jenner. I think pretty much anyone would hate the woman that your boyfriend left you for. Back in 2014, Blac Chyna was in a long-term relationship with Tyga. The pair even had a son together. But that all changed when Kylie came into the picture, and Tyga left Chyna for a 16-year-old Kylie. Kylie and Tyga dated for 2 years before splitting. At this time, tons of Chyna's friends and family were shading Kylie for breaking up a family, including Amber Rose. Apparently, Kim Kardashian was even friends with Chyna while she was with Tyga, and Kim said that Chyna was devastated when she found out that Tyga was leaving her and their 3-year-old son King Cairo for Kylie. Years later, Chyna would get in a long-term relationship with Rob Kardashian, Kylie's half-brother, and have a child with him. Some even speculate that Blac Chyna got with Rob purely out of spite so she could make Kylie's life hell. Starting off this countdown, we have Miley Cyrus. Apparently, Miley Cyrus has never been a fan of Mariah Carey. In a 2016 Elle cover story, Miley said, and I quote, "I've never really been a fan because it's so much about Mariah Carey. That's part of her shtick. I can see through it. That's part of what makes her a gay icon. Like, it's about Mimi, it's about what she's wearing, and it's about her." Miley continued on saying, "What I make isn't about me, it's about sharing my story. It's about someone being connected to what I'm saying. That's why you don't see me like on the side of buses selling I mean, what am I gonna do, sell makeup?" And that was a jab towards Mariah and her deal with MAC Cosmetics holiday line. Yikes, Miley went off. Coming in at number 9, we have Madonna. This might just be the worst insult someone could ever receive. Back in the 1990s, Madonna said that she'd rather kill herself than be Mariah Carey. She then proceeded on saying that Mariah wasn't the brightest. Continuing on, in 1996, in an interview with Spin, Madonna said that Mariah's work is anything other than serious art.
Wow, Madonna did not hold back at all.
In our 8th spot, we have Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is an American music executive and producer. He was the chairman and CEO of Sony Music Entertainment for nearly 15 years. Now he's in charge of Casablanca Records with Universal. He is also Mariah Carey's ex-husband. After the two split, things got messy for Mariah. He literally tried to sabotage her and destroy her career. He must have really hated her in order for him to do that. Like, for example, the whole J-Lo and Mariah feud is said to be started because of him. It started when J-Lo released a song with a sample that Mariah was already using. Another time, Mariah was planning to do a slow duet with Ja Rule, but J-Lo managed to do one first before her. This was all arranged by Tommy behind the scenes. It got so bad that Mariah actually had to end her contract with Sony. In our 7th spot, we have Nick Cannon. Although the ex-pair share kids together, they still aren't on the best of terms. In an interview, Nick said that Mariah is still mad at him for some things that he has done in the past. Plus, just recently when Nick got in trouble for making anti-Semitic comments, Mariah threw shade at him through a social media post. On Instagram, she posted a photo of her dog and captioned it, "Life's rough." She posted this hours after Nick got blasted, so people were like, ooh, that's for sure shade towards him. In our 6th spot, we have Demi Lovato. According to Demi Lovato, Mariah Carey is rude, and that's why Demi doesn't like her. It started back in June of 2016. A meme was going around showing Mariah next to Ariana Grande. The photo was captioned when you order it online versus when it arrives, suggesting that Ariana is nothing compared to Mariah. Well, Demi saw this and commented, "You got it the wrong way around, honey." Later, Demi provided an explanation for what they meant by this. Demi said, "Mariah is a legend and so talented, but constantly disses people. It's nasty the way she treats Jennifer. I'm afraid to say the woman is mean for no reason. Extremely talented? Yes. Superhuman? Possibly. Unnecessarily rude? Absolutely." Mariah didn't take this lightly and she played the whole "I don't know them" card, and then told Demi to introduce themselves and share their opinions face to face. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Jenny McCarthy. After Mariah Carey's New Year's Eve failed performance, actress Jenny McCarthy had much to say on her SiriusXM radio show. She went on to say that Mariah blaming the production company for her performance was incredibly insulting. Apparently, Mariah didn't even participate in soundcheck, where she could have tested out if everything was working properly, so that's on her. Furthermore, Jenny said, and I quote, "I mean, her voice is not there anymore. I don't believe there was a problem with her inner ears. I just don't. I think she used it as an excuse." You heard me correctly. Jenny thinks that Mariah was never going to be able to sing in the first place, so she made up excuses that her earpiece wasn't working. I'm not sure what Mariah said in response to that, but knowing her, she probably threw some shade right back at Jenny. Coming in our 4th spot, we have Christina Aguilera. In 2006, Christina Aguilera revealed to GQ an unpleasant experience she had with Mariah at a party. She said, and I quote, "One time we were at a party and I think she got really drunk, and she had some really derogatory things to say to me." That's not good. But of course, Mariah responded and threw a lot of shade back at Christina. Mariah said, "I had hoped that Christina was in a better place now than the last time I saw her, when she showed up uninvited at one of my parties and displayed questionable behavior." She continued on saying, "It is sad yet predictable that she would use my name at this time to reinvent past incidents for her promotional gain. It is in my heart to forgive and I will keep her in my prayers." Hot damn, Mariah. If you come for her, it's pretty clear that she's gonna just come right back at ya. In our 3rd spot, we have Nicki Minaj. Mariah and Nicki's beef was very public. It happened when the two were judges together on American Idol Season 12. The two came for each other multiple times on the show. Multiple. But before the first episode even aired, 2 clips from the show surfaced online. One is a video where Nicki just snaps. She says, and I quote, "I told them I'm not putting up with her effing highness no more. I'm not gonna sit here every effing minute to have you come down and harass me every minute every day." So we already knew that having them as judges together was going to be juicy. Plus there were so many times throughout the season where the two would just make snarky remarks at each other. There even was a rumor going around that Nicki threatened Mariah with a gun, but Nicki and the producers denied these claims. In our 2nd spot, we have Eminem.
This feud seems so random, like Mariah and Eminem, like it's a random duo. It all started in 2002 when Eminem made reference to Mariah in his song Superman. In the song he says, and I quote, "What you trying to be, my new wife? What, you Mariah? Fly through twice." He continues on saying, "I beg Mariah to take me back." But according to Mariah, the two never dated or hooked up. She said they talked on the phone and hung out around 4 times. A year later, Mariah was on tour and parodied Eminem. In her song Clown, she has the lines, and I quote, "You should have never imitated We Were Lovers, when you know very well we never even touched each other." Then in 2005, Eminem responded by playing voicemails from Mariah. So on and so on, it just keeps going on. Eminem's all like, "Babe, we had something going on," and Mariah's like, "Nah, nice try." And in our number 1 spot, we have Jennifer Lopez, but we don't know her. This has to be the most famous Mariah feud of all time. It all started back in the early 2000s when Mariah was interviewed by a foreign TV station. One of the questions they asked was about several pop stars, her rivals, and what she thought about them. She begins with Beyonce and she says that she's nice and a good writer. When asked about Jennifer Lopez though, she says, "I don't know her." And that, my friends, is how the "I don't know her" Mariah meme was created. Over the years, the two have both subtly thrown shade at each other while still downplaying the feud.
Starting us off at number 10, we have Mariah Carey. The singer is notorious for taking her title as pop diva quite literally. From rumors about her bizarre dressing room requests to feuds with co-stars, Mariah has earned herself quite a reputation. When filming a cameo for the 2017 comedy The House, she arrived to set 4 hours late with a list of demands for her trailer. Her co-stars called the experience bananas, which is never a good thing. It's no wonder that her cameo didn't make it into the final cut of the movie. And let's not forget about her feud with fellow American Idol judge Nicki Minaj back in 2012. The two stars were rumored to be at odds from the moment they were both hired on the show. It was during the audition rounds of American Idol that it became clear their feud was more than just rumors. During an argument with Mariah, Nicki said she wasn't going to put up with Mariah anymore and sarcastically called her Her Highness. Up next, number 9, we have Lindsay Lohan. It has been quite a while since we've seen Lindsay lighting up the big screen. Why? One reason could be that she is a huge pain to work with, apparently. Lindsay's lack of professionalism once led to the CEO of Morgan Street Productions threatening to sue Lohan over her behavior on the set of the 2007 film Georgia Rule. In the letter, Lindsay was called out for her many absences from set and constant partying during production. Even Jane Fonda, her co-star in the movie, had enough with Lindsay and yelled at the actress for being late on set one day. I would not want Jane Fonda to yell at me. Like, that just scared me, and it's not even me. Apparently, Lindsay didn't learn from the experience though. In 2010, when she filmed a guest appearance for Glee, Lindsay was apparently late and unprepared when she arrived on set. I had no idea Lindsay was in Glee. Coming in at number 8 is Emma Roberts. Just because you are related to Hollywood royalty, Emma's aunt is Julia Roberts, after all. That doesn't mean it's okay to act like a total princess. But I guess no one told Emma Roberts that. It is rumored that the actress was very difficult to work with on the set of American Horror Story Coven, and even got called out by co-star Gabourey Sidibe. Apparently, Roberts was rude to others on the show and wouldn't talk to crew members. While filming another Ryan Murphy show, Scream Queens, Emma was confronted yet again by a co-star. Allegedly, Jamie Lee Curtis was not a fan of Roberts' diva antics on set and let the actress know. It must have done the trick that time because her behavior was reportedly improved after the chat with Jamie Lee. I also would not want Jamie Lee Curtis yelling at me. I love her. After Freaky Friday, I always wish she was my mom. Fun fact, in case you wanted to know. And for number 7, we have Lea Michele. While she may have played a diva on TV, Lea Michele's off-screen behavior could give her Glee character, Rachel Berry, a run for her money. Michele was called out on Twitter by former co-star Samantha Ware for making her time on Glee a living hell. And after Ware opened the floodgates, the shade from former castmates kept on coming in. Amber Riley responded to Ware's tweets by posting a gif of herself sipping some tea. Heather Morris tweeted, "Was she unpleasant to work with? Very much so." Melissa Benoist and Michelle Scream Queens co-star Abigail Breslin didn't make comments themselves, but were caught liking tweets about Michelle following this incident. That's the silent way of getting involved. They're like, I agree with you, but I'm not gonna say anything about it, because they didn't want to get too involved. I do that all the time. At number 6 is Katherine Heigl. When Heigl left Grey's Anatomy in 2010, she said it was so she could focus on her family. However, it's speculated that her departure may be due to tension between her and the show's creator, Shonda Rhimes. A few years after Heigl left Grey's, Rhimes, while speaking about her show Scandal, said, "There are no Heigls in this situation. I don't put up with that bullshit or nasty people. I don't have time for that." This isn't the first time Katherine Heigl has been on the receiving end of these kinds of comments. After calling her 2007 film Knocked Up a little sexist, the actress was seen as difficult to work with, a label her career is only now recovering from. If that, cause where is she? I actually don't know. I haven't seen her in anything in so long. At our halfway point, number 5, we have Ellen. For years, the talk show host was beloved by audiences for being nice. That is until 2020, when former employees of the Ellen DeGeneres Show spoke out about what it's like to work for Ellen, and they did not have very nice things to say. According to former staff members, Ellen's on-camera kindness was all for show, and that they weren't allowed to speak to her when they actually saw her. Ironically, Mariah Carey has also spoken about her negative experience with DeGeneres. According to Carey, Ellen made her feel extremely uncomfortable when she grilled the pop star about whether or not she was pregnant during an interview on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Other celebrities, like Everybody Hates Raymond star Brad Garrett, have given their own negative accounts of Ellen. Garrett claims to know multiple people treated horribly by the talk show host. Jumping on down to number 4 is Julia Roberts. It looks like diva behavior runs in the family because, much like her famous niece Emma, Julia Roberts is no picnic to work with, and picnics are a good time. While playing Tinkerbell in the 1991 film Hook, the actress was apparently given the nickname Tinkerhell by crew members. While her director on the film, Steven Spielberg, defends her behavior, that hasn't stopped her difficult reputation from following her in the years since. In 1994, on the set of I Love Trouble, it was confirmed by both Roberts and co-star Nick Nolte that the two did not get along. Nolte went as far as to say that she is not a nice person. It is rumored that even an acting legend like Meryl Streep can't convince anyone that she likes Julia Roberts. The two August Osage County stars were apparently so at odds over screen time that Meryl won't work with Julia ever again. That is like an actor's nightmare. Imagine Meryl Streep not wanting to work with you. I would just give up at that point. Heading into our number 3 spot is Kanye West. It is no secret that Kanye West has had some pretty eccentric behaviors, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that he is less than ideal to work with. Apparently, West tortures the people at his label Def Jams, and that he is one of the most difficult artists to deal with in the business. Honestly, I could have told you that though. I feel like everyone knows that. While collaborating with Kanye can be tough, it sounds like working for Kanye is no walk in the park either. A former bodyguard of West had shared some of his diva antics. According to him, he was only to wear black around West, touching Kanye would get you fired, and bodyguards were not allowed to speak when Kanye was walking by. Kanye's rules also included his then wife, Kim Kardashian. The bodyguard claims he was fired 2 weeks in when Kanye caught him bumping into Kim in the hallway. Wow, their marriage sounded like a great time. That's sad, because they are divorced now. All the way in the number 2 spot, we have Kanye's now ex-sister-in-law, Kourtney Kardashian. Kourtney is known on the show for her hilarious deadpan comments, which are often at her siblings' expenses. She's my idol. I honestly love her sass. I live for it. Though she's often joking, sometimes she can take it too far. Not even Kourtney's own mother could deny that the reality star was hard to work with. Kris Jenner told Andy Cohen at the Keeping Up with the Kardashians reunion that her eldest daughter was the hardest one to manage. Kourtney herself couldn't argue with her momager. "I don't want to do things if it's not something I'm really into doing. My answer is no for most things, and if it's gonna be yes, I want to know every detail of what I'm gonna be asked for." Kim Kardashian has also called out her sister for rude behavior. In one incident, Kim says that Kourtney was so mean to one of her nannies that she brought her to tears. According to Kim, Kourtney can't even keep a nanny. I wonder why. And finally, in our number 1 spot, we have Justin Bieber. Becoming a pop star at such a young age could get to anyone's head, and Justin is no exception. Former SNL cast member Bill Hader said that he really didn't enjoy having Justin Bieber around. Hader says that when Justin hosted the show, he brought around an entourage of 20 people. Apparently, the Biebs had his staff hand-feeding him pizza and Diet Coke. Where's that kind of treatment for me, Chris? I can't eat pizza, it's fine. Fellow SNL star Kate McKinnon says that Bieber wasn't pleased by her hilarious impressions of the pop star. His diva behavior isn't exclusive to SNL though. Justin has also developed a reputation for throwing tantrums on stage, leaving concerts early, and showing up late to his own shows. Once he even scolded a fan for throwing her hat on stage before later storming off stage because of the audience's screaming. Isn't that the point of your concert? Wouldn't you prefer them to scream than to not scream? I feel like that would be so awkward. Starting off the list at number 10, we have Jennifer Lopez. The famous celebrity is rumored to be one of the worst people to work with because of her constant demands and cold attitude. Jennifer even lost an opportunity to perform at a Premier League tournament for insisting on a tab of demands that includes a private jet and 9 dressing rooms. The league couldn't sustain those demands and decided to give their performance to someone else. Not only that, but when filming on set, Lopez is known to only communicate through assistants and wouldn't talk to other people working on set herself, and would request for people not to apparently look at her. It's gotten to the point that Jennifer is known to be unable to keep a consistent makeup artist and stylist for her unlikable behavior. Honestly, if you put me on a set with J-Lo, there's no way I'm not looking at her. From there, the number 9 spot is taken by Bruce Willis. According to many people who have worked with the actor, he is very difficult to work with. Director Kevin Smith even said that working with Bruce was a soul-crushing experience because his positive expectations of the actor turned sour. Bruce was apparently known on set to have a big ego, and when filming came to an end, Kevin Smith thanked everyone who worked on the film except Bruce because he was apparently a pain to work with. Another director came forward to say that he also had a hard time working with the actor as the pair would clearly not get along and didn't speak a word to each other off camera. Number 8 is going to Megan Fox. According to people who have worked closely with her, Megan finds it hard to continuously have steady work solely because she is tough to work with apparently. When filming on the set of Transformers, certain crew members released a statement claiming that Megan was consistently late or didn't even show up at all. They also stated that she always complained and didn't seem the least bit interested in filming, and because of how she acted on set, Megan was actually kicked out of the multi-million-dollar franchise of the Transformers. Let's also not forget all that drama she had with the director of the movies, Michael Bay. Whoa, honestly I think that's what got her fired, but you're gonna have to look at one of our other videos for that story. Heading to number 7, we have the actor Jennifer Aniston. No! No, I refuse to believe it. No, that's sad. The actress is known for playing likable characters on the big screen, which is why I got so upset because I love her so much. But that kindness apparently doesn't hold up behind the camera. On set, instead of riding with all the other actors, she requested her own luxury SUV to escort her only wherever she wanted to go. She would also disappear into her trailer to avoid interacting with people on set. Though the complaints don't end there, Jennifer has also requested a change to a character's name because the character shared the same name as the apparent woman who ruined her marriage and wouldn't show up to set until that name was changed. I don't know about you, but that seems a little bit dramatic to me. Whether it's true or not, I like to believe that it isn't, but that's because I love her. Moving on to our number 6 spot, we have Lady Gaga. Depending on who you ask, Lady Gaga could be a pleasure to work with or very unpleasant to work with. And according to her former personal assistant, Jennifer O'Neill, Lady Gaga was awful to work with. Her former assistant complained that she had to be on call 24/7 for the pop star, sleep in the same bed, and be demanded around to do simple tasks when Lady Gaga was just too lazy to do them herself. Lady Gaga was sued by her personal assistant for unpaid overtime. When questioned about the allegations against her, Lady Gaga stated that she's actually wonderful to work with and cannot fathom that Jennifer would sue her. The two faced each other in court and eventually they settled it out between each other. It's hard to know who is actually in the wrong in this dispute, but there's one thing for sure, and that it's probably not a good idea to sleep in the same bed as your personal assistant. That's a very strange request if that's true, and I'm uncomfortable. Although I would sleep in a bed with Lady Gaga. Because I'm a crazy fan. Taking number 5, we have supermodel Naomi Campbell. Coming from personal staff and fashion designers that she's worked with, the model has been labeled as a drama queen. Campbell was notorious for arriving late to bookings, acting irrational and uncontrollable on set. She has even left the people working for her in tears for how much of a diva she is. Other people who have worked with her have mentioned that their team has lied on multiple occasions in order to protect Campbell's image. It got so bad that one of Naomi's employees filed charges against her, and even though she denied them, she was found guilty of an assault charge. She was sentenced to 5 days of not so glamorous community service, but that has not stopped her in continuing to act like the drama queen that she apparently is. The number 4 spot is given to Jennifer Lawrence. You may know her in her role in the Hunger Games, but her co-workers know her as a nuisance to work with. Lawrence presents herself as a relatable girl to the public for her risky jokes and careless behavior, creating a very likable public image. I vibe with her. But when this behavior is brought on set, instead of being likable, it seems very unprofessional. Multiple co-stars of hers have called her out for being hard to work with, as she doesn't care to remember her lines, breaks character often, pulls pranks on set, and apparently oversteps people's boundaries. Her unprofessional behavior has caused multiple people in the industry to avoid working with her again, and has led to her taking this number 4 spot. Jumping to our number 3 spot, we have musician Chris Brown. Chris is not new to controversy, and that trend continues with his relationship with other people in his industry. Apparently, on his appearance on Good Morning America, Chris threw a temper tantrum after being questioned about his charges, and Chris became so angry that he walked off set and hid in his dressing room. Additionally, Brown's personal employees and security have come forward to tell the public how difficult he was to work with, and mentioning that every day they wouldn't know if he would wake up on the wrong side or the right side of the bed. He does have temper, and let's not forget the Rihanna story, y'all. Anger issues. We're at the number 2 spot, and that is going to the famous actor Jared Leto. One of the main reasons other celebrities avoid working with Leto is for his off-camera behavior in the movie Suicide Squad. When the actor was cast as the Joker, he had big shoes to fill for former Joker Heath Ledger. Though Leto took the role very seriously beyond the camera, and maybe too seriously. Jared Leto crossed the line with his antics towards his co-stars when sending co-star Margot Robbie and other actors starring in the movie deceased animals and other disturbing gifts. Like, I'm not even kidding, he'd wrap them up in a box and send it to their trailers. Very weird. This was justified by him to get more in character, he said, and to better portray the Joker role, but all it accomplished was making his co-stars very uncomfortable. Like, no thanks. That's weird method acting. And finally, taking our number 1 spot, we have Shia LaBeouf. In his rise to fame, Shia seemed to be a personable celebrity that was gaining the likeness of the public. But after his claim to fame, Shia has been in multiple controversies in the media that has made the public and the people working with him turn to dislike him. Now the actor is notorious in the industry for his ignorance and very big ego. From the multiple accusations against him of plagiarism to criminal offenses, Shia has a great deal of offenses against him. Sources that have worked close to the actor have claimed that he is not easy to work with, and his behavior towards his female co-stars is unacceptable. Furthermore, Shia's life behind the camera has become increasingly dangerous to the people around him. The actor cannot seem to stay away from the headlines, with multiple lawsuits against him from his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs, being charged with trespassing, charged with harassment, and being escorted off set for his disruptive behavior.
Starting off this countdown, we have Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. This celebrity couple met on set of That 70s Show. They were a couple on screen and eventually off screen as well. In fact, Mila said that her first real kiss was with Ashton Kutcher, and now they're happily married with 2 kids, Wyatt and Dimitri. But I'm sure you have heard about the controversy recently involving them and their kids. While appearing on an episode of Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, the topic somehow got onto bathing, and they revealed that they weren't too concerned on bathing their kids. Mila said, and I quote, "I wasn't that parent that bathed my newborns." Kutcher continued on saying, and I quote, quote, "If you can see the dirt on them, clean them. Otherwise, there's no point." This caused an uproar and people started hating on the couple for not taking care of their kids properly. I personally love the two. It's cute how they went from dating in the show to dating in real life to then getting married. And honestly, they are great people and parents from what I can see. Moving on at number 9, we have Katy Perry and Russell Brand. This relationship had toxic written all over it. So the pair first met at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2008. After 3 months of dating, Brand proposed to Katy while vacationing in India. But this relationship had a number of problems. Apparently, they would get into fights about everything, from her partying to when they were going to have children to his stand-up jokes. You get it. Not only that, but apparently Brand was often jealous of Perry's success and felt like he was living in her shadow. In Katy Perry's Part of Me documentary, it showed her curled up and crying in her dressing room on a number of occasions after having fights with Brand. Katy also called him controlling. In the end, Brand broke it off with her through a text message and said that his relationship with Katy was boring and compared it to being on a diet of white rice. That's rude. So people were open to the relationship at first, but as months passed, they were not here for it at all. They didn't like how they got married so fast and knew he didn't treat her the best. Moving on to number 8, we have Aaron Taylor Johnson and Sam Taylor Johnson. Now the reason why this couple received so much hate is because of their age difference. So the pair met on set of the film Nowhere Boy in 2008. Aaron played the lead and Sam was the director. A year later, the two were engaged. But Aaron was 18 at the time that they met and Sam was 42. With a 24-year age gap, fans were thinking the worst about Sam and her intentions with Aaron. Years later, the couple are still going strong. In fact, just recently they both got tattoos on the left side of their chest with each other's name on it. So, suck it haters, sorry, but this pair is here to stay. In our 7th spot, we have Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Talk about a controversial relationship. This relationship had drama written all over it. So apparently the two first got together in 2012 while Kim was still in the middle of getting her divorce with Chris Humphries all figured out. Then in December of 2012, Kim revealed that she was pregnant and the two were expecting their first child together. Fast forward to now. The pair now has 4 children together and their marriage is rocky. According to the Keeping Up with the Kardashians show, the pair have been fighting for a while. From fights over Kim refusing to give Kanye a band-aid, to Kanye feeling neglected, to him not liking her Met Gala dress, saying it's far too revealing, you name it. They would fight several times a day, but the final straw apparently was a couple months ago when Kanye started acting more erratic. He accused Kim and Chris on Twitter and exposed that him and Kim were contemplating having an abortion when she was pregnant with North West. Honestly, people were concerned about the relationship and their clashing egos from the start. And rumor has it that Kim was preparing the divorce papers since 2018. Moving on to number 6, we have Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. Another very attractive couple, but they have received a lot of hate. The pair first started talking in 2016 after Nick slid into her Twitter DMs. How romantic. But it took 2 years before the two made it official in May of 2018 after confirming that they were dating. After just 2 months of dating, yes, 2 months, Nick proposed. By December of that year, they were married. No one was expecting that. It all happened way too fast. In fact, some people believe that they aren't even a real couple. It's all just for show. They also have received hate for their age gap. Priyanka is 36 and Nick is 26. Again, love is love despite age, but whatever. Not only that, people think they married each other just to boost their brands. But what do you think about the relationship? Are you here for it or not? We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Beyonce and Jay-Z. I think people hate this pair because they think that Beyonce can do way better, especially after Jay-Z admitted to cheating on her. Like, you're with Beyonce! She's gorgeous and talented, why would you ever cheat on her? Anyways, the pair seemed to hit a rough patch in 2014 after Beyonce's sister got in a fight with Jay-Z and punched him in an elevator after the Met Ball. The footage was soon leaked and people were like, ooh, what did Jay-Z do? Later it was revealed that the fight was because of Jay-Z's affair with Rachel Roy. People were like, Beyonce doesn't deserve this. No one cheats on our queen. And that's why people don't like them together. Moving on to number 4, we have Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Okay, here we go, folks. Hardcore Jelena superfans were outraged when Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin got together. For them, Hailey was getting in the way of Justin and Selena getting back together. They just refused to accept that they both have moved on. Shawn. Apart from the Jelena shippers, others aren't too fond on how Justin treats Haley. In April of 2021, Justin and Haley were caught by the paparazzi going to a cafe. When they arrived, Justin gets out of the car and then slams the door in Haley's face. Awkward. Another time, the pair were on Instagram Live together, and he told Haley to back off and stop touching him after she gave him a hug. So people were getting snappy, saying the two are not a good pair for each other, that he needs to treat Haley better. In our third spot today, we have Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. I think most of the hate that this couple receives is from die-hard Mendes fans that are mad that he's taken because they thought that they had a shot with him. Anyways, the pair were first photographed together at the 2015 VMAs. They then met again the same year at the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas. And that's when she went into his dressing room to say hi and talk. The cuties made it official in, I believe, 2019. And they are apparently still going strong. But the pair did receive some backlash in February of 2021 when Mendes posted a picture of Camila on Instagram for Valentine's Day. In the photo, he was kissing her foot, and the comments on this photo were harsh. They were calling him disgusting and their relationship cringy. Yikes. In our second spot, we have Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell. Honestly, my mom and dad. They're both talented actors and they're hilarious. But unfortunately, the pair has received their fair share of hate. First off, the two are very open about their relationship. In September of 2020, the two shared a story and photo on Instagram that had a lot of people shocked. It shows him and Belle in a car and she's bent over a bottle. Turns out, she was actually peeing in this bottle. Which, I mean, for a girl to do, that's hella impressive. He captioned the photo on Instagram and I quote, "The most important part of this photo isn't that my bride at Kristen Annie Bell is peeing in the car. It's that the car is 36 hours old. So much disrespect that I almost have to respect it." People were like, okay, why would they tell us this? TMI. Belle went on to explain that she doesn't F with public restrooms during a pandemic. Then we have the beer controversy. Dax was struggling with his addiction on and off. So he doesn't drink beer, but he does enjoy a good old non-alcoholic beer. Apparently, they let their daughters drink it too. I know it's non-alcoholic, but their kids are 6 and 8, and it doesn't seem like the most appropriate thing for them to be drinking. So people got mad at them for that as well. And of course, they also admitted that they don't regularly bathe their kids as well. I mean, I love them together, screw the haters. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. They are a good looking couple, not gonna lie. But their behavior at the VMAs on September 12th was just downright cringy. It all started during Megan's interview with Entertainment Tonight. She was talking about Machine Gun Kelly and how he helped pick out her outfit. She said, he was like, "You're gonna be naked tonight." And I was like, "Whatever you say." She then continued on, calling him daddy, and then said, "Whatever daddy says." That's not all though. The interviewer asked her if the two would be collaborating in Machine Gun Kelly's future music videos. And she said, and I quote, "He's not allowed to have other hoes in his music videos. It's the queen or nothing." Alright then. Then of course the two were all over each other during the event, touching and kissing each other, you name it. Another cringy moment for the pair was when Megan posted a photo of herself on Instagram from their Airbnb the two were staying at. The caption was, "When I tell you that the table at this Airbnb saw some things." Machine Gun Kelly replied with, "I'm glad that's not our table." So we all know what they did on that table, okay? But come on, we don't need to know about it.
At number 10, Eminem. What happens when one rapper crosses another? Well, a feud begins. We've seen this type of thing before with a number of rappers like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, Kanye West and Drake and Meek Mill, and just so many others. But another toxic duo we can include here is Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, because their feud has also been pretty big. It all started back all the way in 2012 when MGK was 22 and he tweeted about Eminem's then 16-year-old daughter Haley. MGK tweeted calling Haley hot in, quote, "the most respectful way possible because M is king." Now even though Kelly meant to be respectful, he still crossed the line with that tweet, and so a feud began. Because of this initial tweet, MGK's music got banned on the radio for a while, and as it would, it made him angry, especially with Eminem, so in 2018, MGK made a song with Tech-9 where he shaded the rapper, and then shortly after that, Eminem hit back with his own song shading his rival in return. From that point, it was just a lot of messy back and forth, talking trash about each other in interviews and in music. Really, at one point, this beef just kind of got exhausted exhausting, and people just started speculating that this feud was just fabricated because they're both signed to the same label. It's been pretty quiet between them since early 2020, so maybe this toxicity has subsided, but you can never really be too sure with these two. At number 9, Conor McGregor. Now this beef here is what got a lot of people scratching their heads because it seemed to have just come out of the blue, and it left a lot of us feeling a little confused. At the VMAs this year, while walking the red carpet, there was quite the altercation between MGK and Conor McGregor. The rapper was at the VMAs for a performance, and because he was up for an award, which he later won by the way, and Conor, well, he was just there for his buddy Bieber. Anyway, they were both on the red carpet at the beginning of the evening, and an altercation broke out. Based on some of the footage that was posted of the event, Conor appeared to have thrown a drink at MGK and then proceeded to try and fight him. It was really dramatic, and no one knows why the altercation even happened in the first place. It was first rumored that they got into a fight because MGK refused to take a picture with McGregor, but the rapper later denied those allegations. It was such a bizarre situation that no one really has any answers for, but clearly there's some kind of bad blood there, so if anyone really knows why that is, please let me know. Now before I carry on talking about people who dislike Machine Gun Kelly, I would first like to take a quick moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're doing it so far, because your engagement really does help the channel grow and we really appreciate your support. At number 8, Gabriel Rodriguez. Now this next story I'm going to tell you about is one that I had no idea about until my roommate told me about it, so shout out to Blake for being the real MVP and saving this list. Basically, there was an altercation between the rapper and his bodyguards and an actor by the name of Gabriel Rodriguez at a bar because Rodriguez was mad at MGK for that tweet about Eminem's daughter that I told you guys about earlier. After the actor harassed the rapper at the bar, he was soon kicked out, but he caught up to MGK and his crew later on that night. Still angry, the actor and MGK got into a verbal altercation, and then the actor said that he would fight the rapper's bodyguards, which is exactly what ended up happening. The actor got pummeled, and charges were filed against the bodyguards, but this man was really determined to get into the ring, so to speak, with MGK because he said that he would drop all charges if he could fight the rapper one-on-one. Either way, this matter was taken care of through a lawsuit and with monetary compensation, but I wouldn't be surprised if that actor still wants to fight Machine Gun Kelly. At number 7, Jeff Lewis. It seems like Machine Gun Kelly isn't just loud on stage, but also at home. You would think that he would put this loud rocker persona to rest while at home in his free time, but according to his neighbors, that couldn't be further from the truth. His neighbors have said that he's known to host loud and crazy parties, disturbing much of his community, and he's also known to have joyrides with his friends on the block. Neighbors have also complained about loud motorcycles revving their engines at inappropriate times of the night, and his guests have also spilled over into neighboring properties from time to time. It's also been reported that during parties, Kelly's guests have parked in neighbors' driveways and have blocked many of the neighbors' cars as well. It really seems as though he doesn't have a sense of respect for other people's properties or quiet hours. This all caused a feud between the rapper and his neighbor TV personality Jeff Lewis, who exposed Machine Gun Kelly for his nightly shenanigans. Luckily, they were able to bury the hatchet after the rapper bought Jeff a bottle of champagne as a truce, but what I really want to know is, did the shenanigans actually stop, or did Jeff just get over it for the sake of his frenemy? At number 6, G-Eazy. Okay, now that we've talked about some non-music related beefs with Machine Gun Kelly, let's circle back to this Eminem feud because this is where a lot of the hate really stems from. When it comes to feuds like this, you always see people taking sides, and so this is how MGK made some enemies along the way since a number of other artists sided with Eminem on this matter, including rapper G-Eazy, and this made things a little messy. See, G-Eazy already had a mild amount of hate for MGK after beach photos surfaced of MGK and Halsey spending the day together. At the time, Halsey and G-Eazy were on a break, but as far as G-Eazy was concerned, that was still his girl and Kelly crossed the line. So when this Eminem versus MGK stuff started to heat up, G-Eazy obviously sided with the opposition. As we all know by now though, rappers just can't let things rest, and so MGK did a freestyle rap during an interview and shaded G-Eazy, and then G-Eazy collabed back with his own diss track for MGK. You know, this back and forth rapper drama is incredibly exhausting. Between them fighting over Halsey and picking sides in a completely different fight, things got messy, but the bottom line here is that they really don't like each other. Get away from me, Fly. Don't make me square up with you. At At number 5, Halsey. But speaking of Halsey, we can't forget to include her side of the narrative here. Tying into this beef with Jeezy and MGK, Halsey was sort of stuck in the middle of this. She sort of had two people fighting over them, just adding to the overall messiness of the feud. Though I wouldn't say that she downright hates Machine Gun Kelly, there was a point where she certainly wasn't impressed by the way that he was acting. Halsey responded to all the drama that was going on at the time by calling Machine Gun Kelly, quote, pathetic. This is in response to the claims that MGK made during an interview where he said that he had, quote, smashed Halsey after allegedly dating in 2017. This all seems to be water under the bridge now since MGK and Halsey collaborated on the song Forget Me Too that was released last year, but I'm going to assume that it took a little while for things to cool off between them before coming back together to work. At number 4, Miller McCormick. Machine Gun Kelly recently made a new enemy, and that enemy is Miller McCormick, the brother of the late Mac Miller. The rapper was set to start production on a new film titled Good News, but after facing criticism from McCormick, it was looking like the film would start production untitled. The film in question was supposed to be about an up-and-coming musician who struggled with deep-rooted personal issues and is inspired by a lot of young rappers' origin stories. Now, the problem that Miller McCormick had with this film in particular was the fact that the title was the same as the last song that was released by Mac Miller posthumously. That, combined with the strange similarity to Mac's life, just didn't sit right with him, and he had to make that known. McCormick seemed to criticize MGK's movie on his Instagram, where he said, quote, F you movie, at least change the title. This sparked a number of others also calling for changes to the film, and this later reached producers who vowed to change the film's title. Now, we don't know if all of this similarity to Mac Miller was intentional or not, but either way, MGK got in some hot water and probably lost some respect from McCormick. At number 3, Corey Taylor. Recently, Machine Gun Kelly went through sort of a metamorphosis of music, so to speak, reinventing his sound. The rapper recently released an album that was more punk rock alternative sounding, and a lot of people had opinions on it. As they do. One person who really had nothing nice to say about MGK's new sound was Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor, as he shared his thoughts on artists in the rock genre in a recent interview. Essentially, Corey said that artists these days are ripping off their sound from other more original artists, and he also took a jab at MGK when he said, quote, I hate the artists who failed in one genre and decided to go rock. I think he knows who he is, but that's another story. I'm the worst. I hate everything, and people are used to that with me though. That seemed like quite a loaded comment at MGK, and there was a lot of fury behind it as well. Either way, this new sound that MGK is working with really seems to be paying off for him, since he recently won a VMA for Best Alternative Video for his song My Ex's Best Friend, which is actually a banger if you haven't checked that one out already. At number 2, Summer Rae. Even though Machine Gun Kelly is thriving with his girlfriend Megan Fox, apparently there's some alleged drama surrounding their relationship and his former relationship with Instagram model Summer Rae. This influencer recently alleged that MGK cheated on her with Megan while he was away filming for the movie Midnight in the Switchgrass. That film set is where Megan and MGK first met. Summer, going into more detail, said, quote, I don't really feel bad saying that because he did kind of cheat on me with Megan Fox if you look at the timeline. Summer also alleged that she had confronted Kelly about why she was told that she wasn't allowed to be on the set for one of his music videos. MGK said that it was because of COVID, but she later found out that it was because Megan was playing the rapper's love interest in the video. Overall, Summer was just left feeling a little betrayed at the end of it all, so I don't really blame her for having some kind of negative energy towards Machine Gun Kelly. And finally, at number 1, Brian Austin Green. Now, the one person who I feel would really hate Machine Gun Kelly the most is Megan Fox's ex-husband, Brian Austin Green. Although he tried to make people think that things are all fine and dandy with him, and that most of his hostility is more so directed to Megan, I feel like deep down there's still some hatred there for Kelly, since he's the one that Megan fell in love with first after him. Ever since Megan and Machine Gun Kelly went public with their relationship, Brian has spoken out about the relationship a few times, but a lot of people feel as though he's hiding his true feelings. In one interview, when asked about how he found out about the relationship, he gave very few details and simply said, quote, I found out in my own way, and that's as much detail as I'll give you on that one. Something just isn't right there, but I feel as though in time his true feelings will come out, and I feel like it might be a little messy too. Maybe a diss track will also come out of it.